Divine Revelation on the Miraculous Power of Endings. 7 Sacred Insights for Transformative Healing. In the picturesque village of St. Jude's Hollow, a divine presence lingered in the air, as palpable as the scent of blooming wildflowers. A congregation teetered on the edge of a miraculous revelation. All eyes turned toward Sarah, a devoted parishioner whose life had been intricately woven with faith and love. Her husband, David, faced a cruel fate, diagnosed with a terminal illness that seemed insurmountable. But within the depths of despair, whispers began to permeate the hearts of the villagers, a promise of hope and transformation. As the news spread, a wave of prayer washed over the community. Together, they invoked the intercession of St. Jude, the patron saint of hopeless causes. In fervent gatherings at the church, candles flickered like stars against the nocturnal sky, illuminating the earnest faces of the faithful praying for David's healing. Unbeknownst to them, the echoes of those prayers began to ripple out, creating miraculous phenomena. A local boy, once bedridden, rose from his slumber of illness, his laughter brightening the air like the joyous chiming of church bells. The dark clouds hovering over Sarah's heart, however, remained stubbornly persistent. Nights turned into long vigils and sleep eluded her. But as she drifted into slumber, vivid dreams began to unfold. One evening, she found herself in a radiant garden, bathed in heavenly light, where the voice of David, warm and soothing, echoed through the tranquil beauty. "Endings are new beginnings," he whispered, a deeply rooted truth that struck at her core. In that moment, the heavy veil of grief was momentarily lifted, and for the first time, Sarah felt a flicker of hope piercing through the darkness. Back in the waking world, prayer gatherings transformed into spiritual phenomena. Each heartbeat of their collective faith wove their community closer together. A stranger wandered into the fold, years of persistent turmoil melting away under the warmth of shared compassion. Miracles seemed to sprout like wildflowers, renewing faith in the weary hearts of St. Jude's Hollow, each one a testament to the sanctuary they had found in each other. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As days turned to weeks, Sarah's heart opened up to the miraculous events unfolding around her. Just as she found a new perspective on their suffering, doubt arrived in the form of an old friend. Skeptical and harsh, they questioned the very essence of prayer and its power. Can faith truly heal a sick man? They challenged, putting her convictions to the test. Shadows loomed larger, and Sarah wrestled with her feelings, yearning for clarity amidst the chaos of doubt. Then, one fateful day, the village gathered for a procession. The air crackled with anticipation as they walked toward the church, hearts pounding in unison. A deep silence fell over them as the skies darkened, the clouds thickening like a divine curtain drawn back. Suddenly, a blinding light broke through, illuminating a figure standing before them, an ethereal presence. Gasps echoed from the crowd, and in that mesmerizing instant, Sarah confronted her fears. Was this a fleeting miracle, or was there something deeper still to uncover? As they erupted into worship, Sarah stood in awe, grappling with the profound mix of despair and hope. The questions loomed larger in her heart. Could their story, marked by endings, truly become a conduit for new beginnings? What sacred mysteries lay ahead in their journey, wrapped in faith and healing waiting to be revealed? The figure before them radiated a brilliant light, causing hearts to race and hands to clasp in reverence. Sarah blinked, entranced by the celestial presence. The air seemed to hum with a divine melody, every soul present drawn into its magnetic embrace. Her initial shock transformed into a profound stillness, where time and doubt ceased to exist. "Fear not," the figure spoke, its voice a soothing balm to their anxious hearts. "You have gathered, not just in grief, but in the powerful unity of love and faith." With each word, A feeling of warmth enveloped Sarah, igniting a small flame inside her chest. She could hardly breathe as a wave of tranquility washed over the congregation. The villagers squeezed hands, tears flowing freely in this moment of divine encounter. Lives intertwined by faith began to surge with renewed expectations. A grandmother, who had been heartbroken by her own trials, whispered, "Could this be a sign? An answer to our prayers?" The questions struck like arrows, yet each word was filled with uncontainable hope. The figure lingered for a heartbeat longer, then gestured towards Sarah. "Your heart is a tapestry of light and shadow. In your journey you are not alone." Sarah felt as if the figure could see straight through her soul. The stillness of the moment instructed her to listen deeper beyond the chaos, beyond the pain. Embrace the grace within the endings. They are not to be feared, but cherished. With that simple yet profound statement, an awakening surged through Sarah, reminding her of the garden vision where David had whispered sweet reassurances. She could almost hear his laughter in harmony with celestial choirs, a joy that promised endless possibilities. In the days that followed, the village came alive with renewed vigor. Inspired by the encounter, gatherings shifted from mere prayer to profound communal gratitude and deeper understanding. The doubts that had slithered into Sarah's heart began to fade. The townspeople shared their struggles candidly and found solace in each other's stories. At the heart of it all was a growing acknowledgement that endings could usher in divine transformations. As the village prepared for a celebration of faith, a sense of vibrancy filled the air. Sarah found herself leading prayer circles, not from a place of fearing the inevitable but from a place of powerful assurance that much lay ahead. One evening, standing before a flickering candle, she offered a prayer infused with hope. "Blessed St. Jude, guide us as we embrace the unknown, knowing every end brings a new dawn." Then came the whispers of news: a doctor's visit, a faint glimmers of positivity regarding David's condition. The villagers gathered again, hearts buoyed with anticipation. Could their collective prayers carry a divine undertone, leading to tangible breakthroughs? As night fell, an unexpected visitor arrived under the stars, a traveler who claimed to have encountered a miracle of his own. The skies darkened, brimming with mystery and potential. Who was this traveler? What revelations could he bring to St. Jude's Hollow? The answers awaited just out of reach, whispering promises of hope to those willing to believe. The villagers gathered in the center of St. Jude's Hollow, their eyes glistening with anticipation as whispers of the traveler swirled like autumn leaves in the crisp evening air. They formed a semicircle, the flicker of torches casting warm shadows against their faces. Sarah stood at the forefront, her heart racing with both excitement and a touch of unease. Who was this man, and what stories of divine intercession would he share? The traveler stepped into the shimmering light, a weary yet vibrant figure. His eyes held a spark that hinted at countless tales. The villagers instinctively moved closer, drawn not just by curiosity, but by a shared yearning for hope. As he raised his hands, a gentle silence retuned their breaths, and he spoke. "Beloved souls of this community, I have journeyed far and wide, but I have encountered something here tonight that I have not felt elsewhere. Your spirit calls to me, woven together by shared stories and sacred laughter." His voice wrapped around them like a comforting blanket, inviting them not just to listen, but to open their hearts wider. "I seek to share with you the miracle that turned despair into hope," he continued, pausing as if to gather strength. "For I, too, faced an ending I feared would consume me." He lowered his head, recollecting memories that seemed to cling to his heart. "I lost my child. A loss so profound it nearly extinguished my faith." Gasps rippled through the crowd, and Sarah felt an ache surge through her chest, memories of her own loss clouding her vision. But within that darkness, the traveler declared, his voice igniting, "I experienced a truth so magnificent that even the shadows could not withhold its brightness. I learned that in every ending, there lies the seed of a new beginning." The villagers nodded, the weight of his words resonating deep within them. Just as a seed must break in order to sprout, we must sometimes endure our heart-wrenching losses to discover the beauty of renewal. The love we share does not disappear. It transforms, transcending even the boundaries of death. Tears streamed down Sarah's face, and she glanced at the gathered faces around her. Each one mirrored her own anguish, yet glimmered with flickers of hope. He leaned closer, eyes scanning the crowd. You are not meant to carry your burdens alone. The angels walk beside us, encouraging us through our struggles, guiding us toward healing. For healing comes not just from clinging to what we lose, but from embracing what may come. He spoke of miracles he had witnessed since that fateful lost moments that intertwined the lives of others. The lost returning, the broken mended, the hearts once shattered now singing in joyous harmony. Each story served as a beacon, illuminating possibilities where once there was only darkness. The evening deepened as the stories continued to flow, laughter and tears blending into a symphony of collective release and healing. Sarah felt inspiration wash over her like a spring rain. She could almost sense David's presence in the laughter of the villagers, in the flicker of the flames that as the night wore on. The traveler concluded with a final note that danced in the air. Remember, friends, endings are but invitations to divine innovations. Trust in the journey that awaits you, for there are new paths to explore and depths of joy to uncover. The crowd erupted into spontaneous praise, voices rising in unity, a melody that echoed through the hollow. In this moment, they were a tapestry of faith and resilience, each soul touched by a flicker of divine hope. Yet, as the clamor of joyful voices filled the air, a shadow stirred at the edge of the gathering. A figure approached, cloaked in mystery. Who could it be? What new thread would be woven into the rich fabric of their lives? The softening of hearts had merely been the beginning. The atmosphere in St. Jude's Hollow shifted, charged with anticipation as the shadowy figure drew nearer. The traveler, still basking in the warmth of connection with the crowd, paused, his gaze locked onto the newcomer. A sense of recognition flickered across his face, an unspoken understanding of shared struggles in unseen battles. The figure stepped into the light, revealing a woman with flowing black hair, a soft glow about her that set her apart. Her presence calmed the tumult of energy surrounding the villagers. Sarah felt a tug in her spirit, an instinctive recognition of something sacred. Greetings to you all, she said, her voice a gentle melody. I am Miriam. There was a pause as her name settled over the crowd like a blessing. I come bearing a message of hope, woven through the fabric of grief and triumph. The tension melted into curiosity as she continued. I understand loss, dear friends. Just like the traveler, I too have knelt in the depths of despair. I once lost my beloved sister, taken far too soon. Yet, in my pain, something wondrous emerged. She paused, her eyes glistening, inviting them into her world of heartache transformed. I felt her spirit rise within me. She taught me that love is a bond that death cannot sever, but rather deepens with the passing of earthly time. My tears became rivers of remembrance, carrying me from darkness into a place of light. The villagers listened, breathless, as her words painted vivid images of renewed beginnings. From every ending, life rekindles itself. Our loved ones don't leave us in absence. They accompany us through memories and dreams, whispering truths that resonate within our souls. Sarah could feel a wave of healing sweep through her. It was as if Miriam was peeling back the layers of her sorrow, letting light pour in. As the evening unfolded, Miriam spoke of small miracles that had occurred in her life since her lost moments when she felt her sister's guidance. I saw signs, she said, her voice swelling with conviction. A butterfly at my window, a song that echoed her laughter. All reminders that we are never truly alone. The villagers began to nod, acknowledging the weight of her story. The traveler joined in, adding, every account of loss carries within it remarkable revelations. Together, each story and experience forms a divine tapestry, connecting us through love, even in the wake of grief. We must share them. With hearts warmed and spirits ignited, the villagers started to share their own stories, each revelation echoing themes of connection, resilience, and unexpected grace. An elderly man spoke of the quiet strength he found while tending to his late wife's garden, and a mother shared the laughter of her child now in heaven, refusing to let grief dull the joys of the present. As the conversation deepened, laughter and tears danced together. It became more than just a gathering. It grew into a sacred assembly, a communion of spirits woven tighter by each shared experience. Miriam's voice rang out once more. Let this place be a sanctuary for the sharing of our stories, a beacon for those lost in the shadows. As we stand together, let us remember. Endings are merely the threshold to grand new beginnings. Suddenly, a gust of wind blew through the hollow, rustling the leaves above them. It felt almost as if the world was holding its breath. And in that sacred pause, everyone turned, gazing deep into the woods that skirted their village. A whispered question rippled through the gathering: could this moment herald the arrival of something greater? As shadows began to shift, anticipation hung thick in the air. What awaited them in the depths of the forest, where the light seemed to dance? As the villagers exchanged glances, hope mingled with apprehension, igniting their collective spirit. What revelation lay just beyond the trees? The moment stretched like a fragile thread of anticipation, connecting the villagers' hearts to the wilderness beyond. The wind whispered through the branches, almost like a voice urging them to listen closely. Sarah felt her pulse quicken. The atmosphere thickened with the promise of something extraordinary. Miriam stepped forward, her eyes wide with wonder. Perhaps, she mused, this is the moment we have been waiting for. A message, a sign something divine may be unfolding before us. The travelers and villagers fell silent, breaths held in reverence. Each heart beat in sync, echoing the fears and hopes that swelled within. It was then that from the depths of the forest, a soft, shimmering light began to emerge. It flickered and danced like fireflies, illuminating the twilight with a glow that pulsed with a rhythm of its own. Look, a voice broke the silence, pointing towards the light. Eyes widened as the villagers watched in awe. The uncertainty of their fear transformed into childlike wonder. Is this what hope looks like? Sarah whispered to herself, the weight of her sorrow feeling lighter in that moment. Miriam turned to the villagers, her presence like a lighthouse cutting through the fog of doubt. This light beckons us. We are called to explore, to embrace the unknown together. Her voice resonated with a tone of assurance, beckoning them to take their first steps towards the luminescence. As they moved closer, the very ground felt alive beneath their feet. The atmosphere shimmered, and with each stride, hope turned tangible. A shared grace enveloped them, igniting something deep within, as if love itself was guiding them through the shadows. When they reached the edge of the trees, the light enveloped them completely. It was warm, comforting, a gentle embrace. Inside this sacred glow, they could hear whispers of their cherished ones, echoing words of encouragement and love. Faces illuminated with recognition, they began to connect with absent spirits, memories rising like cherished relics from devotion's treasure chest. Miriam, I can feel my grandmother's presence, a young woman exclaimed, tears glistening in her eyes. She's singing her favorite hymn. Each word carried throughout the gathering, weaving hearts together as the villagers began to reach out, sharing their own experiences with the light and the voices it carried as they stood in communion. A profound revelation dawned on them. Each ending led to the reawakening of love in unexpected forms. Death, sorrow, loss, these harsh realities were but shadows cast by the brilliance of everlasting connection. Remember, the traveler said gently, the end of one journey sparks the beginning of another. In this light, we are shown the endless possibilities of love. It urges us forward, inviting us to carry the flame for those who have passed beyond. Every person at that gathering felt a divine urgency resonating deep within. They began to share not just their losses but also the blessings that sprang forth from them: a mother's enduring love, a father's guiding hand in times of doubt, a friend's steadfast presence that refused to waver. The stories brimmed with cycles of endings turning into beautiful beginnings as the warmth enveloped them. One villager timidly asked, "What if we journey together deeper into the forest? What secrets lie ahead?" With a gentle nod, Miriam replied, "Let us trust in his guiding wisdom. The path ahead may be uncertain, but we shall discover more than we can imagine." And just then, a new whisper arose from the woods, slithering through the branches and stirring the leaves. An unseen force beckoned them to move forward, and they stood at the edge of the discovery. What awaited them, shrouded in the mingling shadows and shimmering light? An undeniable pull drew them into the depths of the forest, promising unity, revelation, and the dawning of a new chapter. But what awaited them at the heart of this divine journey? The villagers stepped deeper, hearts beating steadily, each footfall echoing the promise of what lay ahead. The shimmering light pulsed with a soft hum, a melody of hope reverberating through the very air they breathed. Sarah felt a gentle tug at her soul, pulling her toward the heart of the forest. Trust the light, trust the journey, Miriam encouraged, her voice steady as the path narrowed and twisted. Fear not, for we journey into the embrace of the unknown. The whispers of the woods entwined with their own thoughts, questions mingling with answers that waited patiently to be discovered. What guidance will we receive? Sarah wondered, glancing back at her fellow villagers. Eyes filled with excitement, they shared a mixture of wonder and resolve. They passed beneath ancient trees, gnarled branches reaching for the heavens, as if seeking the very touch of divine grace. The light shimmered brighter, shifting colors like 1,000 sunrises blended into a single moment. It was alive with possibility, a testament to every story waiting to unfold. Then, they stumbled upon a clearing vast and radiant. In its center stood a massive stone, worn smooth by time, glowing from within. It seemed to pulse with life as though it contained the very essence of the universe's mysteries. The villagers gathered, drawn toward it like moths to a flame. What ancient wisdom do you hold? Miriam asked, her voice a gentle plea. They stood together, a collective spirit, seeking understanding beyond the veil as if answering her call. A soft wind swirled around them, carrying voices like leaves swirling in a gentle breeze. Each voice spoke of endings that led to new beginnings, stories echoing from the stone's depths. Hearts swelled as they heard the tales of transformation times when despair had turned to joy, and loss had birthed new hope. Do you hear that? Sarah whispered, a tear slipping down her cheek. Every story is a bridge, a pathway from one season to the next. Yes, the pain they had faced was as real as the love that surrounded them. With a sudden blaze, the light from the stone flared brighter, illuminating truths that slipped through like sunlight after a storm. They could feel it, the promises shared and the burdens lifted. Each villager absorbed the warmth, the knowledge that in letting go, they could embrace new life. A child's laughter rang out from somewhere in the trees, sweet and pure. Will we ever be free of our grief? One young man asked, looking to Miriam for guidance. Yes, she declared, her voice resonating with conviction. Grief, dear friends, can be the soil from which love grows anew. When we embrace our sorrows, we unlock their power to heal. It is through our shared journey that we find wholeness. A wave of understanding passed through them. Sharing their burdens was not a sign of weakness but a profound act of faith. Through each story they told, the villagers strengthened their connection to one another and to the light that now seemed to dance among them as they remained in this place of understanding. The stone's glow shifted again, revealing a pathway that wound deeper into the forest. Something awaited beyond, a divine revelation that tugged at their spirits. Miriam, do you sense it? Sarah questioned, her heart quickening. Yes, she replied, eyes sparkling with renewed purpose. We are called further still. Together, we will uncover what it means to rise from the ashes of despair. With a united breath, they stepped forward, stepping into the unknown with hearts aligned. The vibrant chorus of the woods sang around them, guiding their vision toward a future shimmering with promise. What secrets will they unveil on this sacred journey? What revelations lie ahead in the luminous embrace of the divine? The pathway beckoned, softly illuminated by the remaining glow of the great stone. Each villager felt a spark igniting within, a faith born anew with every step. Miriam led the way, a vision of confidence, encouraging them to trust the unseen. As they walked, the whispers of the forest grew stronger, filling their ears with sacred messages, nudging them closer to an understanding that shimmered just out of reach. Suddenly, the air changed. It felt thicker, charged with anticipation, as if the forest itself was holding its breath. They halted in unison, eyes wide, ears tuned to the symphony of life around them. Sarah stepped forward as if pulled by an invisible string, her gaze fixed on a faint flicker of light dancing through the trees. "Look," she exclaimed, pointing toward a shimmering figure that appeared momentarily between the trunks. It seemed to beckon to them, a guardian spirit wrapped in golden warmth. The villagers gasped, each heart echoing the rhythm of hope and wonder. "Follow the light," Miriam urged, her voice steady, guiding them like a shepherd to their flock. As they approached it, a profound stillness enveloped them, the air tinged with an aroma of wildflowers and rain-soaked earth. A scent of renewal, the figure slowly materialized into a form, bathed in divine radiance. It was a presence both majestic and calming, a messenger of light, a harbinger of peace that radiated love. With gentle eyes, the being surveyed the villagers, looking deeper than mere appearance. It grasped their pain and their joy, a mirror reflecting their innermost truths. "What is it you seek?" The voice resonated, smooth and melodic like the call of distant chimes. "In this sacred gathering, you have summoned the power of transformation. Ask, and it shall be revealed." A hush fell over the group. Each villager pondered the question, the weight of their hopes and dreams coalescing into words that trembled on the tip of tongues. At last, Sarah spoke up, voice barely above a whisper. "Will we find hope again? Or is our grief all that will remain?" "Hope is a seed, dear child," the figure replied, its eyes shining. "To embrace pain is to prepare the soil for love. Each ending brings forth a new beginning. Share your stories, for in their telling lies the power to heal." As these words sank into their souls, the villagers exchanged glances, recognizing the truth in them. With every spoken sorrow, a hand would grasp another, pulling them closer in this circle of unity. One by one, they began to share raw, heartfelt confessions that poured forth like a gentle river, leading to the settling place of peace. "My father's absence is a weight I carry," said a young woman named Elian, her voice quivering. "But in that emptiness, I have found purpose to honor his memory by helping others." "I too have lost," came another voice, an elder named Thomas, tears glistening in his eyes. "Yet our shared stories remind me that love transcends even death, compels us to live fully." With each tale of heartache transformed into light, the atmosphere thickened with warmth. Each heartbeat resonated like a drum, bonding them, wrapping them in a tapestry of understanding. The figure watched, nodding in approval, love pouring into the gaps where grief had once been as their stories enveloped the clearing. The dimming light began to glow fiercely again, illuminating the forest, reflecting their belief back at them. "Remember," the figure intoned, its voice a beacon now. "In every story shared, there shines the miracle of healing. Trust the journey. Believe in the lessons of the past, for they pave the way to your future." The villagers stood rooted, faces aglow with epiphanies crowding their hearts. In this sacred moment, they realized the synergy of their pain transformed into a communal strength. Suddenly, without warning, the shimmering figure began to dissolve, the golden light retreating back into the trees, leaving behind an echo of its presence weaving through the leaves above. "What will happen now?" Sarah asked, her heart racing with a blend of longing and joy. Miriam gazed forward into the path ahead, filled with unspoken possibilities. "The journey continues. We must seek the next revelation. For each step we take in faith opens another door, revealing more of the divine plan. Together, we shall rise and uncover the mysteries that lie ahead. What new lessons await them, and how will the light guide their next steps into the unfolding tapestry of life?" The forest seemed to pulse with life, each branch and leaf shimmering in the glow of possibility. The villagers, now infused with newfound courage, took tentative steps forward, encouraged by the warmth still lingering in their hearts. Miriam led them deeper into the ancient woods, where shadows danced playfully with the light. "Keep your hearts open," she reminded them softly, her eyes scanning the path ahead. "We are being guided to a deeper understanding. Let us embrace what is yet to come." As they walked, the lingering scent of wildflowers guided them like a gentle hand, awakening memories of joy and peace. They laughed, sharing stories of lighter days, illuminating the air with warmth. Yet interwoven with the laughter were reminders of their scars. Their grief held close but not alone. After a while, they arrived at a clearing wrapped in a soft golden light, as if the sun itself had chosen this place to linger. In the center stood an ancient tree, its trunk wide and sturdy, with roots that twisted like arms reaching deep into the earth. Its leaves rustled as if whispering secrets to the gentle breeze. "Look at its strength," Elian spoke, awestruck by the tree's grandeur. "This weathered storms and still stands tall. Perhaps it knows something of endings and beginnings." "Yes," Miriam replied thoughtfully. "It stands as a testament to resilience and rebirth. Just as this tree sheds its leaves each autumn, so too must we allow grief to drop from our lives, making space for new growth." At that moment, a soft wind swirled through the clearing, carrying with it the whispers of the past. Each villager felt the air brush against their skin, a reminder of lost loves, cherished memories, and all that had shaped them. They closed their eyes, breathing in deeply, embracing both joy and sorrow. "We all carry our stories," Thomas murmured, "but they can transform us. Each story shared is a leaf on a branch. Together, they form a beautiful tree." Suddenly, the light around them shifted, and from the heart of the ancient tree, a radiant glow pulsed. The villagers drew closer, their breaths hitching with anticipation. The divine presence they had felt earlier was back, this time emanating from the tree itself, a profound, palpable energy. "Beloved ones," the voice resonated, deeper and richer this time, "you have learned well. Each ending is indeed a sacred beginning. You are called to let go of what no longer serves you to make way for abundance." Miriam's heart raced at this revelation. How do we let go? How do we embrace the new? "Trust in the process," the voice replied. "Your pain nurtured the roots of compassion. Your joy blossomed through love. Together, as a community, you are called to plant seeds of this love in the hearts around you." In that moment, the villagers felt a surge of power and purpose. They exchanged knowing glances, understanding that together they could carry this shared love beyond the clearing, into their homes, and into their community. The wind danced joyfully through the branches, rustling leaves as if applauding their awakening. "What if we created a circle of sharing?" Sarah proposed, her voice vibrant with eagerness. "A community where stories of sorrow transform into tales of hope? That would be beautiful," Elian added, her eyes shining. "We can honor our grief by embracing our healing journey together." "We must not forget," Miriam said. "Each story has the power to heal, and through our shared love, we continue the cycle of transformation." As they stood there, hearts lifted, the warm light surrounding the tree began to fade, but not without leaving a mark on their souls. "What lies beyond this moment?" came a quiet whisper from the back of the group, stirring thoughts of anticipation. And as the villagers turned to face the path ahead, they knew with unwavering certainty that their journey was just beginning. Together they would uncover the layers of their hearts, and in doing so, illuminate the pathway for others. What awaited them beyond the next bend in the path? Would they find the courage within to face what lay concealed in the shadows? As the glow from the ancient tree faded, the villagers stood still, their hearts echoing the pulse of life that surrounded them. The air shifted slightly, infused with an energy that felt strangely electric. They instinctively knew this was a sacred moment, a transition from the old to the new. Miriam took a breath, feeling the weight of what had been said. "Look around," she encouraged the others, her voice filled with quiet strength. "This place, this tree, symbolizes our journey together. Each of us has roots that run deep, linked in unseen ways, nourishing each other's growth." Elian stepped forward, her hand resting against the tree's rough bark. "It's true. We draw strength not just from ourselves but from those around us. We are never alone." The group began to move gently, their feet grazing the leaf-strewn ground as they walked away from the clearing, but they were careful not to disturb the peace they had found. The sun slanted through the branches, casting intricate patterns on the ground, like nature's own tapestry. What might we discover as we share our stories? Sarah mused, her voice playful, filled with wonder. The question hung in the air, being cradled by the spirit of anticipation. A laugh bubbled from Thomas. Perhaps we'll find that laughter and tears exist side by side, just like the branches, reaching for the sky while anchored in the soil. As they ventured forth, the path ahead began to change. The trees thinned out and the whispers of leaves transformed into the soft rustling of grass. An expansive meadow appeared, radiant with wildflowers swaying in harmony with the breeze. Their vibrant colors reflected a sense of unity, the villagers stopping in awe at the beauty that surrounded them. Miriam paused, taking a moment to appreciate the view. This beauty reminds us of the joy that emerges after trials. We must hold on to hope and faith, for they illuminate our darkest paths. In that instant, the sun broke through the clouds, casting a warm golden light over the meadow. Each villager felt a rush of warmth enveloping them, as if the universe was reassuring them, "You are loved. You belong. Can we sit and share here?" Elian suggested with enthusiasm as she gestured to a patch of soft grass. "Let us begin our circle of healing. Let us speak from our hearts." They gathered in a loose circle, sitting on the earth that cradled them. For a moment, silence fell, a sacred reverence settling in their hearts. The soft sounds of nature surrounded them, the gentle rustling of the leaves, and the distant calls of birds blending like a soothing melody. "I'll start," Thomas said, breaking the silence with humility. "The loss of my father still aches within me, yet I've learned to celebrate his life through memories, through laughter we shared. It reminds me that love never truly dies." A murmured agreement rippled through the group. Miriam felt tears in her eyes, not of sorrow, but of profound connection. Each story shared was like a thread intertwining with the others, creating a tapestry of collective healing as the stories flowed. They became a river of wisdom, pain transforming into light, carrying hope downstream. Vulnerability opened doors, building bridges of understanding and compassion. Each villager felt lighter, as if burdens were being lifted into the air, dissipating like mist in the morning sun. When it was Sarah's turn, she spoke with a trembling voice. "I stand here today because I chose to step out of shadows that haunted me. My journey of healing is ongoing, but every moment shared today deepens that transformation." Miriam smiled, her heart swelling with gratitude for this brave gathering. This is our gift to one another. We create safe spaces where hearts can mend and grow. Together, our joy expands, breaking the walls of solitude. As they continued to share, the golden sunlight shifted to a softer hue, a sign that the day was nearing its end. The warmth wrapped around them, igniting their hope for future transformations. They felt lighter, filled with a newfound strength that radiated from the space they had created. Together, what awaits us as we step into the tomorrow of tomorrow? Miriam pondered aloud, her eyes glimmering with possibilities. They all felt that stirring in their hearts, a call to courage, as they realized that the journey was just beginning. With open hearts and intertwined stories, they ventured forward into the unknown. What awaited them on the road of transformation? Could they truly embrace what lay ahead with the love they had nurtured together? The village of St. Jude's Hollow glimmered in the fading light, the air thick with the promise of hope and healing. The villagers gathered beneath the expansive sky, hearts united, ready to embrace the next chapter of their profound journey. Sarah stood in front of them, her spirit burning with fervor, radiating the strength gleaned from shared experiences. The camaraderie they had cultivated through their stories lingered like fragrant blooms in spring, filling the space with warmth. Miriam, a beacon of guidance, stepped forward, her eyes sparkling like the stars beginning to peek through the dusky sky. "Here, in this sacred clearing, we have unearthed the treasures of our struggles. The trials that once imprisoned us have transformed into bridges of connection, leading us toward one another." As a ripple of agreement washed over the crowd, Sarah remembered the stories, the pain, and the laughter. Each one was a note in a choir that proclaimed resilience. Standing among them, she whispered a prayer of thanks, feeling the spirit of David beside her, urging her on. She raised her hands to the heavens, gratitude spilling forth. Let us celebrate, dear friends. Every ending is a testimony of love, each loss a prelude to new beginnings. As night wrapped around them like a gentle embrace, the villagers raised their voices in joyous song. The melody filled the meadow, vibrant and alive, echoing their collective victory over despair. Tears of joy soon mingled with laughter, lighting up the darkness like stars falling from the sky. The gleaming figure of the traveler appeared once again, joined by the Lady Miriam, both carved from the light they had encountered in the forest. "You are not meant to walk this journey alone," the traveler said with divine reassurance. "You are united by the love you share. Together you spark change, fostering healing not just in yourselves but in the world around you." Eager breath swept through the villagers as the significance of this moment blossomed. Each face reflected resolve, tenderness rooted in the depths of their stories. Even the heartache that clung to their pasts transformed into seeds for hope, ready to bloom anew. Sarah felt the stirring of a vision, expansive yet simple. "Let us bear witness," she exclaimed, elation tangling with reverence. "We shall build a circle of sharing right here in our village. A sanctuary where hearts unfold, a refuge for all who felt lost." The villagers cheered, encouragement flowing like a river, their collective spirit dancing with anticipation. Ideas erupted like sparks igniting a fire. They spoke of gatherings filled with laughter and tears, of celebrations where their stories would breathe life into others still confined by their sorrow. Miriam stepped closer, her presence steady and nurturing. "And you must remember, every wound bears the potential of a story that brings healing." The truth of her words sang through their hearts. A resolve enveloped the villagers as they shared the commitments of their hearts. They talked of workshops, prayer circles, and evenings spent in laughter, each idea cultivating unity and understanding. Sarah's spirit soared as she envisioned the beautiful tapestry they would weave together, affirming the richness of their collective experiences. As the moon rose high, casting silvery threads across the meadow, an overwhelming peace washed over them. They linked hands, forming a circle, a reminder that no one would face their journey alone. Each villager felt an exhilarating surge of grace, a silent promise echoing through the depths of their beings. "Together we rise," Sarah whispered. "Beyond our grief, we shall flourish." In that moment, the night erupted with a celestial glow, as if the heavens themselves approved their gathering. Stars twinkled like diamonds, a chorus of silent witnesses to their reconciliation with both joy and loss. The villagers of St. Jude's Hollow understood the sacredness of their new path, a journey fueled by faith and love that would forever bond them. And as they relinquished their sorrows, they intertwined their stories into a foundation of light. The echoes of laughter fused with the rustling leaves, weaving a melody carried on the wind, whispering to the world beyond. Endings hold the promise of transformation. Here, love conquers loss, and together we shall shine, illuminating the way for all seeking the dawn. In joy and solidarity, they sang together on that sacred night, their hearts forever changed, ready to embrace the next chapter with open arms. You need to subscribe now to this channel to not miss the next exclusive faith stories. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Comment your reactions and testimonies about the ending. And please, share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this manifestation of hope. Don't wait even one more second to share. Only true servants of God know the importance of supporting this channel through these actions. Your engagement helps spread the light,